Hi Collective, welcome to the channel. I'm Crystal. So we're going to get into a Starseed Collective reading for the energies of today, 5/24. Now keep in mind all of my readings are timeless, but I'm going to be letting you know about the energies that we are connecting with. We had a really big transit today. Okay. I feel like I need to turn this down. I felt a bunch of anxiety as I started this reading. And I was thinking about the energies, right? And how it's kind of how the enemy entities feel at this time. This frantic energy because of what is coming, because of what is happening. So much light is radiating, so much light is shining. It's eradicating a lot of the darkness. It's being exposed. That's why it's becoming so frantic, because its same games aren't being able to be played, right? Things are being exposed, things are being seen, they're being shown, they're being eliminated, right? There's this major energy too. I realized I lost my crystal again. And crystal keeps jumping on my necklace. There's this strong, just things are, I'm hearing, dissipating. I wanted to read something to you guys too about what's going on with this transit and this movement. But I gotta... I gave my son my mouse, so I'm trying to figure out how to get into this. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this one's not touchscreen. Because I don't think I can pull it up from my phone while I'm recording, right? I might have to read it later. I thought I was logged in here, but apparently I'm not. Alright, maybe I won't read it here, but I'll tell you guys. If you haven't followed my Facebook, you should. I share a lot of things, right, with the groups that I'm in. So I was talking about this transit of Saturn, right? Into Aries. There's this big movement happening on the 24th. I'll have to get more information together and do another reading, but it's a big time of closing out these cycles, right? Relationships and situations, and Saturn, a ruler of karma, right? It's like for a lot of us it's been, hey, settle down. For a lot of us it's been these karmic relationships that we've been in, these cycles, these patterns, and it's just, they're not going to be able to take that that effect and that hold on us anymore, right? It's like if what you're realizing was weighing you down and holding you back, like it's over, it's done. Like the sabotaging, like I was thinking a lot about this, like if you're in a relationship with somebody where like you can't trust them, they're constantly on your mind, you're not able to be at peace with them, then what are you doing, right? It either needs to be healing you need to do, or you need to release that situation. It's like for some of you, just realizing like how much time and energy relationships and situations and stuff are affecting you. I just realized that maybe I can look in here. Like I really wanted to read that. Because I could just look it up too. Because I wanted to get into doing like a teaching. That's why this was supposed to be like a star seed reading. So, you guys, am I logged into Facebook on the tablet? You don't know. All my accounts are linked to everything, so you think it would. Yeah, here I go. But then passwords be getting changed. It's like remembering 4 of mine. Oh my gosh, all these security. Yeah, it's not working. Okay, let me just... Okay, so Saturn entering Aries on March 24th will remain there until September 1st. So Saturn will then retrograde back into Pisces for a few months before returning to Aries on February 14th of next year. This transit of Saturn into Aries is considered a significant time of self-mastery and taking greater responsibility for one's choices. So that's where I feel like you're feeling, though, it's like a very significant time to make changes that aren't working for you. See, Saturn in Aries will challenge us to get serious about our passions and our purpose. If there is something you want to create, achieve, or pursue, like now is the time to do so. See, Saturn in Aries will throw you in hyperdrive. One of the biggest astrological events is this one. For the first time in nearly 3 decades. This is happening here. So Saturn is our cosmic father figure. You won't hold your hands, rub your head, or tell everything is going to be okay. Saturn abides by a somewhat outdated tough love philosophy. No shortcuts, no freebies, no skipping steps. And even though Saturn's lessons can be challenging, but when we reach the other side, we realize how far we've come and how resilient we are. Okay. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I went to the next tab. Okay, so on the 24th, Saturn entering Aries for the first time in 3 decades. Okay, I don't want to hear too much about... I don't want to hear about, like, how long it's been, what's going forward. Saturn is said to be in its fall in Aries. Astrologically, a planet in its fall is when it moves to the opposite sign. Exaltation. Saturn is exalted in Libra, a sign where it values balance, consideration, and long-term thinking. Aries, however, is impulsive, aggressive, and focused. You know, that Aries energy, you know, it's about taking action, charge, control, right? That's why I feel like this is like a big impact where you're going to just be like really feeling like I'm going to do what's for me. I'm going to not let anything hold me back, right? I know that things that I've been suppressing for a long time, my feelings and emotions, just all of a sudden I'm just like speaking my mind, saying how I feel, ready to make these changes, because I am very in tune with the astrological movement. So I feel these energies as they're coming in. That's how I know when I'm starting to feel a certain way. Something's going on, right? And that's why I was like, okay, what other astrological events are going on? I know we have our new moon in Gemini on Tuesday, so we're 3 days out from the new moon for a Gemini, and we just reached Gemini season, right? So I was so feeling the shift and changes of the seasons. I was like, is this, you know, and I know that Gemini is in my Venus, so this is a big movement. Like whenever in Gemini season, right, feeling that energy, I'm very much, you know, very, very expressive and communicative, and because it's in my placement, in my Venus placement of a Gemini. So you know, anywhere you have Gemini placements, that you could be finding that as well. But really, we're all feeling that because we are under the sun in the sign of Gemini, so we're all feeling that energy. Oh, cute. Charlie looked at a little snake. She got the other little baby snake out if you want to see it. So the energies or whatever. Sorry, I got distracted by my neighbor. So the everybody's feeling this Gemini energy, right? We're very talkative, communicative, expressive, right? That very chatty energy and stuff. And so anyway, there's that movement because we have the new moon approaching, right? So that's a big impact. But I told you, like, I was reading too, like, this is supposed to be one of, like, the biggest significant movements, right, of the year, right? This is a big one for closing these cycles, because new moons are about setting intentions, right? And you know, fresh starts, new beginnings, all of that. And with this happening literally 3 days before the new moon, that's why it's such a big, like, movement. That's why it's like, you know, Saturn, like a ruler of karma, right? To all of a sudden have that lifted, have that moved, right? That's why, I mean, for some of you, like, you're going to be setting yourself free from these things that have been holding you and binding you and keeping you in things. Like, if you weren't being expressive, if you were just settling for certain things, you're going to be in this energy like, well, nope, I ain't going to settle for that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and then that boosts that energy. Like, you're going to be expressive and communicative, right? Okay, so like I said, it's more fun to catch my readings in real time because I'm letting you know about the cosmic alignment and astrologically what is going on. But, you know, timeless readings as well, right? If you're catching this outside of the time that I'm uploading it, that's fine too. This is when Source guided you to it. It's when it felt as though energetically you aligns with it, that's going to benefit you at this time. But, you know, so subscribe if you have not. It's free. I do free content here online, so you know that. I know it's a lot of times like you gotta look and see because there's so many that when you say subscribe and then, you know, the different tier options and all of that. But anyways, free content over here. Okay, so I'm sorry I wanted to get more together, but I just wanted to start recording. This is just going to be my first one a little bit as I investigate this more. I'm going to be getting into more because this is going to be a big impact of this movement. And even though it's happening today, we are feeling this leading into this new moon in Gemini. And I'm definitely going to be doing new moon in Gemini readings, right? So definitely come back for those. And, you know, the best ones that you can take a look at, if I do break them down by zodiac signs, and not just me with any reader, is looking at your sun, moon, rising. You want to take a look at all of those and put your story in there, right? And not just looking like at your, and also your Venus placement as well. We got a little spirit monitor in here. Okay, so but I was kind of feeling like breaking some down by zodiac time, zodiac labels this time, so that's why I'm putting that out there, right? But any of them you can take a look at as well, right? Hey, go sit somewhere. You're distracting behind my camera. Go sit. Thank you. Alright, sorry, she's distracting me. Okay. I'm going to read a little bit more. So Saturn and Aries will challenge us to get serious about our passions and our purpose. If there's something you want to create, achieve, or pursue, Saturn will ensure that you're learning the right techniques and acquiring the right tools to make it happen. And this is not the time for half-hearted efforts or vague aspirations. There are high-stake energy here. I don't want to read too much into that. The Saturn return is one of the most important astrological rites of a passage. It happens approximately every 30 years, and when the time when Saturn returns to the same place it was when you were born. It's your celestial coming of age ritual. Wow. Or some of you, this is going to be the most important impact if this is your Saturn return, right? You may crash out the universal through test after test after test, but when you emerge on the other side, you'll know who you are in authentic, stable, and a lasting way. Hold on, I'm going to look up something. So for some of you, you need to look up your Saturn placement by doing an astrological birth chart analyzer. I do have a link down below in my description box for free where you can do one. See, a Saturn return is an astrological event that occurs when a planet, Saturn, returns to the same position in the sky at the same time of a person's birth. Because I was feeling the energies of like, well, what is your Saturn return, right? Because sometimes like the way these readings work is like we're connecting with y'all even though you're not, like, when we're recording these. I don't know how to explain this other than time is but an illusion here, constructed in the 3D realm. It's not really the way the time works. Like, it's not really. Oh, I see your hands in my background. Stop it. It's merely an illusion. That's why I can feel your energy as I'm recording this. I'm connecting with some of y'all as I'm recording this at this time. Okay. And even though it's being recorded and it's not live and all of that, I hope that that's making sense. That's why when you're connecting with some energetically and you're on the level, right, they feel your energy. So I was feeling the questions and you wanted me to look that up, right? It's a time of significant personal growth and transformation. It represents a period of increased responsibility, discipline, and the potential for greater maturity. You know, what's interesting, too, is I was talking about my son, too. Like, I just looked this up. I've been so busy with him this past week that I haven't really been looking a lot into things. But I knew that we reached Gemini season because in his birthday season, he's my Gemini. And I was like, so when is your new moon? And I looked it up. Literally, I was like, the new moon is on your birthday. What? Like, that is so special because you only have, like, 2 to 3 new moons that fall on your birthday. It's a very, very powerful time. And if you know, when you reach your solar return, right, it's a very, very powerful time whenever it's your birthday season, right? And things are in your favor, and it's these beautiful times to start new and all of that, right? So I already knew that that was very impactful, that it's falling on his birthday this year and stuff. And then finding out about this transit right before us. That's why I have a lot more investigating that I'm wanting to do, right? So maybe for some of you, like, you're needing to investigate your birth chart. Look into how this transit is going to affect you. I'm sure there's a lot of content, too, online that a lot of other beautiful readers have put together, or astrologers on this transit. I literally just ran into them today and I got excited, and sometimes I get excited and I just want to I gotta start somewhere. So this was my first one. I know I'm really not put together with stuff, but I don't care. Plus I needed to start to record too because I said I was going to, and sometimes if I don't just start, then I discourage myself, right? I wanted to pull some cards, right? I wanted to get into the starseed reading. Okay, Stargates was coming out to me today while I was trying to meditate, but I got a lot going on with my kids. But this is the Galactic Star Tarot, right, that I was feeling guided to, that I wanted to do a tarot reading with. So I'm just going to pull a couple cards from it that I'm going to get into doing the starseed reading. Okay, so let's see. Look, the moon and the Ace of Wands. This passionate new beginning coming in with this new moon in Gemini. You know, very strongly we feel the energy before it comes, right? Like, moons, you feel them 24 to 48 hours before, right? They peak on new moon, full moon, and then you feel them, you know, after. So I'm already very much feeling this energy coming in. And, you could be as well, because I think it was saying this might be a super moon. I'm not sure, though. I need to follow up more a little bit, because those are even more intense, right? But you see, the already first card out was the moon, right? So it's very strong. This moon is here. 6 of Wands in the Devil. Damn. Victory over the devil. That's what I mean. For some of you, like, you're seeing through the blockages. You're seeing through these karmic relationships and cycles and patterns that were literally meant to keep you stuck and bound, right? And how you surpass them is simply by releasing and letting go. Like, if you can't let go of a certain situation or a toxicity, then maybe you're letting go of that person, or you're realizing some sort of cycle is done. That's why, like, you can evolve situations, but you have to be able to identify them and work with them. Like, here's the for instance, I feel like I need to explain this a little bit more. Like yesterday, like I've been talking a lot about, with my lover, about like our relationship and our situation, like what's not working for me anymore. And I really didn't know what sprung all of this, but I was literally like sat him down and I was just talking to him about our relationship and how I have evolved and I have learned, you know, the different things and how he's made me a better person and how I've had to face certain things. I said, and how I've grown and I learned from these things. And I said, and I know that you've evolved and you've grown too, because we have been through a lot of life experiences together. I mean, just so much. And I said, and even though we face those situations, and whenever you face those things, you grow, you expand, your soul evolves and you learn. I said, when it comes to like our relationship, I said, you're just not evolving. You're not enough for me. You're kind of just being the same as you were. And I said, and that's fine, because for you, that's still showing me love in the same way, but you're not loving me the way that I deserve and desire, right? And I was letting him know, like, I need to see you evolving and you changing and doing things, or we're not energetically aligned anymore. I said, like, yeah, I was aligned with you when we got together, right? Because I was kind of really shallow and I had a lot of ego problems and I didn't have confidence, and I was letting him know how much like strength and confidence he has given me, and how now I demand respect instead of being a people pleaser and a pushover and all of that, and letting people walk all over me. You know, like he taught me how to stand my ground to like my exes, you know, and like I don't need to be friends with my exes. I don't need to, you know what I mean, let people take advantage of me and all of that. I'm like, you did that for me. You taught me all of that. And I said, and now like I demand, like that's the respect like I want. And you know, and I said, but you didn't. I said, for some reason you triggered me to do those things, but you haven't. I said, we go places or whatever, and it's like if somebody disrespects me or whatever, like you don't stand up for me. You're too apologetic. Like you're too worried about like other people than you are me. Like you don't put me up on the pedestal. It's like, you know what I mean? Like if we go somewhere, you holding the door for me. You're not worried about holding the door for the lady that's walking across the parking lot too. You know what I mean? And I hope I'm explaining this well. I'm not like conceited or like something like that, but I'm like, I was letting him know, like, you're too much in this people pleaser energy, which means your ego, your confidence isn't strong enough yet. I said, I need you to work on that so energetically you're to a match to me, right? I said, like, you need to have eyes for just me and the respect for me. And I'm like, and if you can't give that to me, there's nothing against you, but that's what I want. I want a man that's going to give me the respect, eyes for me only. You know what I mean? I don't want, like, that's what I want now. I want where the door gets open for me when he's with me and he's, you know what I mean, focused on me. He's not holding the door open for everybody that's walking. And, you know, if anybody's in your vicinity